everyone, and welcome to another questions and answer session. If you've seen the first one, I have the same person back, Chris.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And we did this about late last year, and we're doing a second one now because I've got a lot of messages on my Instagram, my Facebook, people I've met through my workshops. They've asked me to answer some questions. So I have a couple questions around my phone that Chris and I will be answering. So Chris, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is, how can I be positive in the face of a difficult decision? And Chris, if you don't mind, I will start with this one. My advice to that is, if you have a solid plan in place and say, okay, I know eventually this is my plan, this is how I'm going to deal with it, and things will get better. That in itself is true positivity. Chris, and what does you say to that?
I would say that as long as you remain calm, as long as you don't jump to conclusions, and even in a difficult situation, getting the best outcome is usually done with time and progression. Meaning that as long as you analyze the situation and you try to get the best outcome out of it, I think with that and being relaxed, you will try your best to figure out the best solution for that situation.
Absolutely. Okay, now the second question is, I want to change careers, but I don't want to disappoint my parents. What should I do? This will make them proud. But as difficult as it is, it's going to be more difficult if you don't make this change. So for example, let's say you do want to change careers, and in the short term you say, no, my parents will be disappointed and I'm just going to avoid not doing that, and you're not going to experience any pain. But eventually in the future, there's a good chance you're going to be miserable. You're going to regret not making that change. And in that sense, your parents are not truly happy for you, because their intent was to see you happy in a career that you're going to succeed in and be happy in. So they're falsely happy for you, when really you yourself are not even happy. So my approach is, I personally never have to go through that. And like I said, I like to always practice what I preach. But if I were to go through that, I would just kind of deal with that short-term pain, change the career, and your parents, they're going to love you no matter what, and eventually they'll kind of go through and accept this change you made. And again, it's going to be really difficult. There's no easy answer to it. But I think you got to look at the long term. You got to look at your happiness and your eventual, because eventually you're going to have a family as well, and eventually you want to be happy, not miserable. You don't want to be one of those people who have a degree and experience in the field and you're making good money, but inside you're unfulfilled. Chris, what do you think?
I actually can add to that point, Sunny. I know someone who's going through a similar situation as you just spoke. What I would say is that sometimes your parents' intentions to look out for you in the best way possible isn't the same intentions you may have in mind. Meaning that even though you might have a good stable job with a good income, but you're not happy in your job, or you feel like you're not finding it as a challenge, you might want to switch it up. And even though your parents might disagree with you, chances are, if it works out, all the power to you, and the parents will eventually see things your way and be like, oh wow, congratulations son, or congratulations daughter, you actually did well, you proved us wrong. And that's excellent if it works out like that. Again, if it doesn't work out like that, and say it's a contract job and you sign a 6-month contract, after that you decide not to keep you because they found someone with, it cannot be a good look towards you as well. But in life, you gotta take risks, and if you never take risks, you will regret that decision, and therefore you will always wonder what could have been, should have been, if you actually went down that route and took that risk to begin with.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Good advice. So the third question, how many hours do you sleep and why? Interesting question. A lot of people have asked me this several times, and to tell you the truth, I try to sleep anywhere from 5 to 7 hours, sometimes 8. I do like to sleep 8 or 9 hours here and there, but I'm someone who's really passionate about what I do, so I usually do get up a little more earlier than I need to, and sometimes I do sacrifice sleep to get things done. Chris, how many hours do you sleep?
So I actually can't function properly if I don't sleep for my 8 hours. I don't sleep more than 8, I don't sleep under 8. For example, if I have a late night shift from work, and then I might be starting early the next morning, I will make sure if I get less than 7 hours of sleep for that day or for that period of 24 hours, what I do is I take naps throughout the day. Hour, 2-hour naps, power naps are an excellent way to increase strengthen your immune system and to ensure you get your full energy level back to normal. Is the best way if I don't get 8 hours of sleep. Of course.
Okay, question number 4. How important is reflection? This one is really big. Reflection is very key, and just the day and age we live in, and a lot of people, for the most part, we live really fast paced, and we're just so focused on what's next. We're focused on what's the next event, what's yourself, will I succeed, or how will I get through this tough time. It's important to reflect on the hard times and the good times. For example, if you've been laid off in a job before, I have. I got laid off once. It was really tough to deal with. Got through it, and it made me stronger as a person. Second time around it happened, it was tough, but then I reflected on how I went through that hard time the first time, and I was able to get through it. So, in a sense, reflection is very key. When you focus on your successes, you focus on your hard times, because they are a blueprint. They are an indicator of what you will do in the future. Chris, how do you feel about reflection, the importance of it, and have you used it in your life?
Reflection, I would say I reflect on myself from who I was 5 years ago up until who I am today. I like to look at ways that I've improved, where I've become better, where I might have gone worse, and to make sure that I'm always progressing as days, months, years go by. Like-minded people is the way you want to go in order to get ahead in life. You don't want to surround yourself with people who are in the wrong crowds. You want to progress, and you want to become a better person by surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
Okay guys, we are now on to our last question. And the question is, how do I make a change and stick to it? Very, very good question. We, for the most part, want to make changes, but to keep that consistent change, it's very, very hard. If you want to go get in shape, you go to the gym one day and you go for a couple of days and you eventually fall off. And I'm not saying everyone does that, but that's just an example I'm giving you. Or if you want to become a better person, a nicer person, or if you want to focus on being more ambitious, these kind of things, when it comes to change, to sum it up, I'd say you need 2 things. 1, you need consistency, and 2, you need to change your identity. And I don't mean stealing someone's credit card and license, but I'll get to that. And what I mean by that is you gotta consistently put in that hard work. You gotta keep doing it day in and day out. You can't just make a change and then put in one day's hard work. You gotta keep pushing in, and that consistency will build you up. You'll gain more confidence, and it'll become easier. Just like if you work out for a month straight, I'm pretty sure when you go that 31st day, it's gonna be a lot easier than it was going that second day. So build that consistency up. And the second one is identity change. For example, let's say I tell everyone, I tell my friends and family, I'm gonna start working out, and they all say, okay, someone like you working out? It's because my identity does not feature someone like me working out, so I gotta be able to change that identity. And with that, what you need to do is be very confident in your ability and say, no, I'm making a change. I am going to be the one that works out. You got to kind of stand up for yourself and say, no, I am going to be Sunny, the person who works out now. I am going to make a change in my life. There's more to it, but for the sake of this video, I'd say those are 2 important things, which is consistency and be willing to change your identity and be willing to stand up for the change you're making. Chris, would you like to add anything to that?
I would like to add that reliability is important to me, meaning that you want to ensure that you are always reliable towards yourself, and that you're, like how you said, consistent, and that you're always on a timely manner. So I think that reliability, as in ensuring that you are the best of your version, is definitely a priority in my eyes.
Well guys, those are all the questions we have. Obviously, thank you for tuning in, and if you have any more questions you'd like to ask, my Instagram link is below, my Facebook link, my website, Sunny Success, and keep watching all my videos, my blog posts, keep reading those. Chris, would you like to tell everyone how they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Rootballa. It's my channel name. I made it when I was 16 years old. And also through my name, Chris Sahoda. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you everyone. Have a great day.